tier list. I'm not doing the base patch. This is just for the league itself. Wait, I'm not gonna use the didn't play section because they'll on F first. Why then drag them out? Dude, why are there so many leagues in this game? Jesus. Didn't play. Log out. Alright. League tier list. Based on how good the league was when it came out. In its active league. Only for the league mechanic itself, not for the corresponding patch. Alright, we gotta get the S tiers up there first. Lake of Kalandra. I think Delirium's an easy S tier. Except for the lag. The Torment when it came out, honestly, wasn't that bad of a league. Like, Ghost Busting was pretty cool. Like, Ghost Busting was kind of a vibe. Torment nowadays is like F tier, but like... We're using the time machine for this. Of Breach. I don't even know if I played Abyss League. When it came out. Like, Breach League when it came out was so fucking sick. Like, God, Breach was so insane. Ambush was all, like, honest to God S tier. Like this was revolutionary shit when it came out. This came out back when leagues were segregated, hardcore and softcore. So, like, softcore had Ambush and hardcore had Invasion. And I played Ambush, even though it was softcore, just because the league itself was so sick. Of Betrayal. But it's kind of OP. Bloodlines. Bloodlines very boring, like just Nemesis 2.0 but worse. Necrovigil, Bilacteral Link, fucking Ice Rain bullshit. Miss me with that. I think Invasion can get like a D tier. Maybe a C tier. Like in terms of actual content, it's like easy F, but the rip clips that it created, I think, make it like the Colby Cheese Saga on its own makes it C, I think. Invasion. So Val side areas, the bosses that exist in Val side areas used to, during the Invasion League, they were introduced as one time, like every zone would spawn one of them. Just one boss. And that was it. That was the whole mechanic. And they were super fucking overtuned. Like some of them, you walked around a corner and just exploded. Like instantaneous death. And this was before Lockstep. One of the great ones was, I forgot his name, but he's a giant colossal bone stalker, and he spawns summon skeletons around you, and then he just attacks you with a really slow attack that one shots you. And the summon skellies caused insane desync to the point where like your character you'd see yourself a screen away, but actually you were surrounded by skeletons so you couldn't move. And until you type /OOS, your client would never update. So like you'd think you're off screen chilling, and he would just attack the ground where you actually are server side and kill you. Content, absolute great league. Nets. There needs to be something below F tier for Expedition. It's hard to rank leagues like Nemesis. It's like as a league mechanic, like, you know, it didn't really do anything. Like, the leagues that existed before league mechanics were actual mechanics, it's kind of unfair to rank them because they're just like, they were so basic. But like, it added head to the game, and like the actual patch that came alongside of it was insane. I'm pretty sure I played Nemesis like 20 characters, like to high level, to dead, to Nemesis, to re-rolling again. Like I played so much. But that was just because the game was like really new and there was like so much to do. But like, if we're ranking it high, it's one of those things where like we're ranking it high not because of Nemesis itself, but because of like the game state that existed around it. Which means I have to rank like Ritual as a good league when it was like fucking garbage. I think we're sticking with we're ranking the mechanic itself, not the patch. Considering this came out after Onslaught League, it like relative to what was a league at the time, it was still pretty decent. Guaranteed unique stuff. It was okay. It was okay. I don't even remember what Essence was like when it came out, but I'm sure it was sick. Love Essence. Dude, Artemis as a league mechanic, I think that's easy S tier. From a cell phone POV, like, holy fuck, this mechanic was so good. You could just target anything you wanted. You wanted infinite uniques? Yep, 6 links, here you go, bud. All the currency in the world? God, it was so good. The inventory space, the inventory management was like kind of bad, but like, God, it was a good league. Like, yeah, create your own loot goblin. It was like, for a self only, it was nuts. I think for trade leagues, we're pretty meh. This is the league mechanic itself. But like, based on when it came out, you know. Like, obviously, if you're comparing Nemesis to current leagues, like, you gotta just F tier it. But like, that shit was revolutionary. How was Ambush S? Because when Ambush came out, it was insane. Boxes were fucking nuts. Remember hitting those cardos? You roll +5. You got like 25 maps. Like T1. I feel like Abyss is like, Like when I think Abyss, I you know, I'm not really thinking happy things. Like now I like it a lot for Magic Find, but like, I'm going D. That's, I don't gotta say anything about that one, right? Alright, so for Metamorph. Metamorph on launch was obviously F tier. But once they patched it about, what, a weekend, so that you didn't have to pick up the organs. I still have a screenshot somewhere saved when I got 4 6-wings from one Metamorph, and that was like so badass. Like, you kind of just like ran through the map, and then at the end you just had like a loot pinata. Like, that's kind of a vibe of a league. I think it was decent. Obviously, if you're factoring in that it was 3.9, it's S, but like, Metamorph itself, I think it's like mid. Harvest is like controversial one. F, it's like 2 days into the league I was bored because my character was too strong. But I think if I were to have played Harvest again with like my current mindset, I would have had a lot of fun. But the boss was bad. Sentinel's better at Harvest? Oh yeah, I mean Sentinel's obvious S tier. Where's Sentinel at? God, Sentinel is so good. I think Sentinel is so much better than every other league that I should D-rank everything by 1 and have Sentinel be alone up here. Like, Lake of Kalandra. This league mechanic was unbelievably garbage until a month in. I think when the league mechanics, like for Metamorph, I'm not ranking it on its release date. I'm ranking it on its state once it got fixed, and it got fixed like less than a weekend. I think that's fine. When the fix takes over a month to come in, I like, you can't even consider how it was after the fix. It was too late. And before this shit got fixed, it was like so garbage. Like 1 month in, it was decent, but like that's too long. I didn't get to play Legion for long enough. So many of these leagues came out when I was really busy, but like, I loved it when I played it. Like, Sentinel's too good, it's not fair. But like, just logging in, playing some Cyclones, spinning through Legions. Timeless Jewels are nuts. Press the cog and that a tier above. There we go. Forbidden Sanctum over Sentinel. Oh shit. I don't know about that. Legacy League. Legacy was honestly pretty sick. I think most of these leagues like that are pretty sick. Parandus was fucking nuts when it came out. Let's be real, Parandus was sick. Like, every time you found this asshole in your maps, like, it was like a Tink, almost. Like, every time you found him, it was like, it could just be the most insane shit ever. Onslaught. Things are faster. That one's pretty low. And they also disabled T1 uniques from dropping in this league. Like Combs Heart and stuff couldn't drop an Onslaught. Like, it was just drop disabled. Or was that Nemesis? It was one of the two. They were just drop disabled. I think Ritual was like a C. Where's Ultimatum at? No shot. Robin, we're ranking the league itself. Not the game. During the league. Like, the actual act of doing ritual content, you walk into a circle and wait for like a minute killing these tiny little fucking stragglers and shit. If ritual didn't have the straggler problem, it'd be up here on A tier with Ultimatum. Its rewards and how powerful its loot was is like why it's not F. But like Ultimatum was like the same shit as Ritual, but instead of super boring, low density, waiting for stragglers to spawn, it's like fucking some high octane death risk. It was just so much better. I think if Trial Master was like a really good boss, it'd be like Insta S. Prophecy. Talisman. Dude, Prophecy was so fucking bad. Scourge was pretty sick. I'm trying to think how it was on launch. Like, it was really overtuned and powerful, but like, you got so much loot. And it was just a good old like fighting league. So many of these leagues are just fighting leagues. It's probably A or it's probably A. Scourging items themselves was pretty meh, but just like the combat, the density, the fighting in the maps, Scourge could have been a lot better for sure. If Scourging items was less shitty and less stingy, instant S. I think a lot of these unranked ones are really bad. Delve and Blight, like two of the only things that I skipped. Warbands, eh. Where's Ambush? Anarchy, eh. I think Crucible definitely is S. Crucible is pretty good. Synthesis is kind of in... Isn't this kind of the same as League of Kalandra? But like, wasn't it bad until like a month in? I love the amount of Crucible haters, dude. Crucible is so fucking good. Honestly, it's too OP. Maybe it being so OP makes sense to get down a tier, but like, Crucible is fucking sick. It's one of those things, like, some people are gonna put like Crucible and Scent in like in-game crafting leagues really high, and some people are gonna put that shit at the bottom. But like, making extremely broken mirror tier just ridiculous shit is a lot of fun. Why Bestiary so low? Bestiary didn't do that when it came out. I think a big problem with Crucible was if you didn't know what you were doing, like the game would fucking obliterate you on like randomness. But if you built, like if you knew the right strategy and you built things properly, like it was deterministic crafting for the most powerful gear in the game. Like I don't know, fine. Like it's pretty rare that I play leagues as long as I did in Crucible, like while crafting. Definitely some recency bias though, but is Crucible better than Harvest then? It's a good question. Maybe Harvest should be S tier too. You can make some really broken shit, but like, I don't know. The actual experience of engaging with it before 3.14, I think it was 3.14, right? When they removed targeted annuls. Like, once they removed targeted annuls, I fucking loved Harvest, because it was actually like, there was like some randomness to it. But when it was farming like remove add life forever, like that shit was so boring. It was super, like really powerful, but like, I don't know. It didn't click with me. Okay, yeah, the 10-second thing's a problem. You're right. But if that was fixed, where's Sanctum at? Am I blind? Oh, there it is. That one's S. Love Sanctum. What else is still here? Beyond. And Beyond, it was like, I'm putting that one right beside Breach. No, get there. Beyond and Breach. Loved this shit. You can just run blue maps and Beyond, just fucking farm. As long as you made it past Submerged Passage, with like the double life regen bullshit monsters, like God, Beyond was sick. Just density. Here's more shit in your maps, have a good time. Free loot. Easy F tier. God, I fucking hate Exhibition so much. I think it's like the same as Ritual though. Like garbage content that is only a thing because its rewards were overtuned, so it was enjoyable for that reason. Like every time I see Exhibition in a map, like I do it and I actively dislike that I'm doing it, but I know I have to because it's objectively correct to do it. Like it's bad. Logbooks are sick. Love logbooks. If they fixed the in-map exhibition experience to not be fucking garbage, it would be like, it'd be up here for sure. But like placing barrels and like dodging like invul and stuff, and build bricking modifiers to then wait for monsters to spawn on the ground just because you have to. The rewards are so insane. Rolling up intersex too. Yeah, sometimes. Like my wrist actually will hurt after doing Intuition for a long time. Sometimes I'll talk to Rog for like, yeah, like this is definitely just a zoomer take, really, is all it is. Like this mechanic siphons time from you. It siphons time from you in so many different ways. Like first it's siphoning time from placing barrels and like reading remnants. Then it's siphoning time while watching them slowly fucking explode. And then it's siphoning time by actually spending the resource itself, because like the rewards are desynced from the action itself. And like talking to Rog can take forever, and like you get good shit, but like it's all so delayed, and I need my instant gratification, which is why Sentinel's so insane. God, I love Sentinel. I don't remember a lot of these, man. I know I played them, but like I don't remember them. Tempest was pretty bad, but like Corrupting Tempest were cool. I think Corrupting Tempest on their own is enough to make it not F tier, but like the average experience of Tempest was like, it wasn't that positive, I don't think. Darkshrine wasn't a league. Darkshrine was a 1 month like temporary league, similar to like when they do like end of league events. That's what Darkshrine was. As for when it was, I think it was after Tempest. The Incursion's S tier, when it came out, I think it was pretty good. It was 12 maps to build one, right? It was decent. I love how empty B tier is. Like A tops, yeah, I don't think it's S. Like, I know I played this because I remember like talking with my buddy who died to like an architect in Mudflats. Like I know I played it, but I just kind of like forgot most of it. But it definitely wasn't a bad league. It definitely was not a bad league. Like in-map mechanic, go kill some monsters, showers you with loot, some agency in building some sort of secondary design, the temple itself, and then, you know, it was cool. It was decent. Wasn't domination super early in the game? It was like in the first like 4 leagues, right? Pretty mid though. Domination definitely not really interesting. But yeah, I mean, domination definitely is not better than D tier, but is it F tier? I don't think it's F tier. Not good enough for it to be offensively bad. I feel like domination's on, like, because like I'm trying to rank these based on when they came out, and this was like the first league ever, and it's definitely, when you're comparing it based on when it came out, like pretty good league. Or this is the second league ever, right? Going from like Anarchy to this, going from like fucking Onslaught is like the first league. I feel like if we're ranking it based on how good it was when it came out, like domination definitely is like the same as Nemesis. Like, here's some extra stuff in your maps. Extra juice, run fast every now and then. Definitely decent. For like a 2013 league. Whereas Sentinel in its own tier. Nothing will ever top Sentinel. God, Sentinel is so nuts. I didn't play Blight and Delve, so we can't include those. For what it's worth though, when I first experienced Blight in 3.9 and Metamorph, I liked Blight a lot. But from what I recall, Blight was a lot shittier in Blight League than it was in Metamorph League. Why is it not top tier? It's pretty high up there. I mean, I think for a lot of people, Legion could be S tier. I don't remember what Harbinger was even like when it came out, but I feel like it can't be better than Ritual, for like the same reason as Ritual itself. It's like slow, but it added the nulls to the game, right? They had to patch it to be faster. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Reddit not gonna like this list. This list is based on the lead mechanic itself, not the patch the lead mechanic came in. Obviously, the problem with ranking it based on the patch itself is you're putting 3.9, 3.13, 3.17 at the top, not because of the mechanic itself, but because of the, you know, the game got expansions that added new end game. Like, of course, those are the best. I know it should be F tier. I'm counting Metamorph after the change to getting the organs automatically, because effectively before they made that change, it didn't exist, and they fixed it like 5 days in. Oh, low C or D, or just not play, because like I legitimately have no memories from this league. They'll make me pick up pennies. Yeah, true. I did play Synth League, and you're not going to like my take on it. So I didn't really engage that much with the actual synthesizer itself, because I stopped playing the league before it was kind of like solved and people knew like what was going on, because it was fucking awful when it came out. Like I know eventually it got to the point where it was like really fucking like cool and everything, but like I have nothing but bad memories of synthesis. It took a month. I mean, the Lake of Kalandra is in F tier because it took a month for them to fix Lake. If it takes a month to fix it, like, that's too late. But I do know, like, a lot of people have, you know, really positive memories of Synth. When I think of Synth, it was bad. Like, it was just... I stopped playing before it got good. Whereas, like, Metamorph got fixed a weekend. It was super early, so, like, you know, the fixed state of Metamorph is here. So, like, in some sense, like, I didn't play Synth. Like, the actual version of Synth that everyone that actually played it and remembers it fondly played, I didn't play that version. The version I played for the first couple of weeks was fucking awful. God, I miss Sentinel League, dude. This league was so perfect. This literally was this. The only way this league could have been better was if Sentinel itself had like actual bosses in it. The perfect in-map combat league. No like ritual or ultimatum or breach or like or abyss where it's like, hey, stop and fucking follow this thing on your map around for a minute and a half. Just like make things stronger, and they drop tons of shit, give tons of experience, just fucking tanks and loot everywhere, and a completely new crafting system that was pretty OP. It was pretty OP, and it was a lot of fun to use because it was still random. It wasn't like OP Harvest. Like when Harvest was OP in 3.13 and 3.11, it was fucking boring because it was just like as soon as I had an eye level 82 pair of gloves of Titan Gauntlets, I already had my item. There was no randomness. It was, I had my item. I literally alt crafted T1 decks and then added every mod that I wanted. No variance, no randomness. Purely just, okay, now I'm going to farm Remove Bad Life. Alright, now I'm going to farm Remove Bad Chaos. And that was fucking boring compared to Recombinators, where it was like, it might fail, it might not. Based on how much it fails, you have to think and, like, you know, use a different base, a different donor base, and like it was probably more OP than Harvest was, but it was still random, which made it way more fun to craft with. Because we're all just gambling addicts anyways. That's what PoE players are, just fucking gambling addicts. Yeah, and it added like new ways to use like donor items. Like there was like the fucking corrupted, like identified loot farming. Like God, it was so sick. And then when it comes to overall patch fun and not just the loot mechanic itself, it added Ubers, which is obviously fucking amazing. Like, oh man, I can stop all I want. No, you can't. No, you can't. All right, chat. What's the worst take? What's the worst take? Let's see if everyone agrees.